Picture the scene. A knight in gleaming armor, mounted on a powerful warhorse, lance ready. For centuries, this image defined the battlefield. Noble, unstoppable, almost invincible. But then came a weapon that made all that glittering steel look suddenly outdated. The English longbow. The longbow was no ordinary bow. At over 6 feet in length, it demanded immense strength. Archers trained from childhood, their bones even growing differently from the strain. But the reward was devastating power. A skilled longbowman could fire 10 to 12 arrows per minute, each with the force to pierce armor at 100 yards or more. To a charging knight, this was a nightmare. Imagine advancing with banners flying, only for a dark cloud of arrows to fall like deadly rain. Horses panicked, formations broke, and the proudest warriors in Europe found themselves crawling in the mud, skewered by shafts of ash and goose feather. The English first unleashed the longbow with terrifying effect in the 14th century. At Crécy in 1346, a smaller English army annihilated a much larger French force. Wave after wave of French cavalry charged uphill into arrow storms, only to be mowed down before they even reached the English lines. Nearly the same story repeated at Poitiers a decade later. But the most famous clash came in 1415 at Agincourt. Henry V and his weary, outnumbered army faced French nobles confident of victory. Yet the muddy fields and relentless volleys of longbow fire turned the battle into a slaughter. Knights slipped, fell, and piled on top of one another, their armor trapping them like insects. English archers waded in with mallets and knives to finish the job. This was not the chivalric ideal sung by troubadours. No shining duel, no elegant joust, just mud, blood, and arrows that cared nothing for noble lineage. The knightly class tried to adapt. Armor became thicker, visors narrower, plate more elaborate. But no matter how heavy the harness, there was always a weak point. A visor slit, an armpit, a horse left unarmored. And all the while, hundreds of arrows darkened the sky. The longbow did more than win battles. It shifted power. A peasant, if trained from youth, could strike down a noble in the field. War was no longer the private theater of the aristocracy. It was now shaped by massed infantry and new technology. In a way, the longbow was a herald of the modern world, a sign that chivalry's golden age was ending. Of course, the longbow itself would one day be outpaced by gunpowder. Cannons crushed castle walls, muskets replaced bows, and knights gave way to new armies. But for a shining, deadly century, the longbow reigned supreme, the weapon that humbled the armored knight and rewrote the story of medieval war. So next time you see a knight charging bravely across a film screen, remember, all it might take is a simple bowstring's twang, and that gallant charge ends in the mud.